Welcome back to the Docker Basics section of the Getting Started with Docker course. In this lesson, we're going to be engaging in a quick start using a Hello World container. So let's start by opening up PowerShell. And in here, what we're going to do is we're going to start by looking at a couple of commands that we'll use a lot. First one is Docker images. These are all the images that are on our machine. Now we only have one right now, which is this docker 4w / ns enters -docker d. So that's the only image we have here. Now images, there's two different terminology here, two different pieces here. There's images and containers. And this is where we talked about it earlier, but I want to kind of really focus in on the practical side of things. An image is a read-only operating system. Now it may be modified, and we'll modify our own operating system, our own base image, which is the kind of the starting point for creating our application container. So an image is just this idea of this is the operating system, this is the starting point. Think of it in C# terms as a class file. So we get the class file, but it's not actually what we use. We take that class file, that's a blueprint, and then we build the house. Well, an image is the blueprint. It's the setup. Now it's got actual files in it, but it's still just a blueprint that we're going to use. So we only have one blueprint here, and that's this one right here. We'll need more in order to get started. We also have the idea of the docker ps-a. And what this is, it's a list of all the containers on our machine. That -a means all of them, not just the ones that are running. And right now we have container ID, we have all the titles here, container ID, image, and all the rest, but no containers in that list. So we have no containers. So that's the instances of our classes, the instances of our image. We don't have any right now. So let's rectify this by downloading an image from the web and then creating a container all in one go. This is not something, this is a shortcut method. Not typically something we'll be doing, but what it'll allow us to do is do multiple steps, see how it works, and then kind of deconstruct it in order for us to create our own image. So we're going to say docker run hello-world. And this is a sample that is out there that allows us to just make sure that Docker is running end to end. So if I hit enter, what it's going to do is it's going to get the image from my local machine for the Hello World application or container. But it's not there. So then it'll go to Docker Hub and find it and download it. So I hit enter. It says I can't find the image Hello World :latest locally. Pulling from library / Hello World, pull complete, and make sure it has the digest, which is a unique identifier. The image is the blueprint, the new container is the actual house, which runs the executable that produces the output you're currently reading. Basically, it's just in .NET terms, it would be a console application that printed out a whole bunch of lines. and then it streamed that output to the Docker client, which sent it to your terminal. So that's it. So we've downloaded an image, we've created a container instance, we've run the container. So let's look at what it actually did from a standpoint of our images and our containers. First, let's look at our containers, which again is that instance. So Docker ps-a, so that's going to be our running and stopped containers. And now we have one. We've got a container ID right here, which is a value that will be unique to this container. The image that's running off of, and the command that was run, when it was created, and what its current status is. If you have a web application, this might still say running, but in this case, it exited about a minute ago with a code of 0, meaning it succeeded. So in .NET terms, this is a console application that had no console.read line at the end. So it ran through, it ran all the commands, and then it exited out. And that's what happened. So we have a container right here that's currently exited out. So let's clear the screen and say Docker images. And now we have two images. One of them is the Hello World image, and it's the latest version of it. And of course, it's only 1.84 kilobytes. It's pretty tiny. So that's our blueprint, and then we have our container, which is our actual implementation, the built house. Now, right now, we don't have a whole lot of use for what we've done. It doesn't seem like it's a lot of value we just got. We just ran a console application that outputted the screen, and then it closed out and it shut down the container. And by the way, it left behind an image, and if we do a Docker ps-a, it left behind a container as well. So we have a whole lot of kind of detritus, stuff that's left behind that's just sitting here now on our machine. Fortunately, not very big and not a big deal, but imagine doing this over and over again. It's going to build up over time. So right now we're going to stop at this lesson, and then the next lesson we're going to learn how to build our own containers out of images and how to create images and then create our own containers as well. So that's the next step where we actually start making this useful to us and even get a full running web server on our machine in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so come on back for that lesson where we start making use of these concepts that we've learned.